Bitcoin got to 36 million, okay, theoretically, the U.S. cost of debt would go to zero.
We can't let you out of here without talking about crypto. You've got a chart in your deck that shows Bitcoin going to 5 million. How are we getting to 5 million?
Now that's
slowly.
Yeah.
And then all at once.
Yeah.
By the way, if you got to 5 million, because we have a grid to show it, it's that gold would be doubled in price. Gold would double in price.
So this is if crypto reaches parity with gold in terms of market cap?
Yes.
Okay, it's not there already?
No, it's only 10% of the value of gold.
Wait, what? How much gold is there in the world?
There is
10?
$21 trillion of gold.
How much crypto? 3?
Bitcoin's 2.
Bitcoin by itself is 2.
Yeah. So I think even if it's not like millennials need to buy gold for gold to go up. You just need the boomers to hold it.
You need central banks around the world to buy it and hold it, which they are.
That's right.
Influential market strategist Jong Lee weighed in on Bitcoin's prospects, acknowledging its growing confidence and value, but expressing uncertainty about its near-term performance. Lee expects confidence around the leading cryptocurrency to rise over the next 5 years. It will increasingly be viewed as a store of value, like gold. He believes it will rise. There is room for many more people to own them. That said, Lee cautioned that Bitcoin is not immune to market turbulence, such as the impact of tariffs. He is not actually pessimistic about it, but he believes that in the short term, it is difficult to say that it should go up right now. He added that technical strategists at his firm have set a target of a drop of $62,000 for Bitcoin by the end of March. Lee's views are consistent with his previous statements about Bitcoin's growth potential despite short-term challenges. Last month, he advised caution on Bitcoin amid a market sell-off driven by President Donald Trump's tariffs on major U.S. trading partners. However, Lee maintained a long-term bullish stance on the top cryptocurrency, targeting $250,000 by the end of 2025. Interestingly, Bitcoin rebounded from last month's lows, rising above 95,000 after Trump said Bitcoin would be at the heart of a U.S. strategic cryptocurrency reserve. According to Jong Lee, Bitcoin might reach $5 million if this happens. Before we move forward, if you want to stay updated with the latest crypto events and news, you can subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now let's get back to Jong Lee's view on Bitcoin and the overall crypto market.
Bitcoin becomes the backbone of a new financial system, which it really is. Like, it's the king of the remittances. It is the immutable blockchain, and people have a lot of reasons that they trust it. In 14 years, no one's broken it, and there's no replacement. Then if the U.S. owns 1 million Bitcoin, they'll be the largest holder of Bitcoin.
Okay, so this is a productive thing, even though, to my earlier point, we have a budget deficit, we have tons of debt. This is a project that we should also undertake now because it might come in handy at some point in the future.
Yeah, well, the U.S. owns 200,000 Bitcoin, as long as it's not, those keys are safe.
Okay.
And so let's say they buy 800,000 more through the Exchange Stability Fund, so another 80 billion.
If they do that, I think the price goes to 1 million too. I just don't know if they're going to do that.
Yeah. But then if Bitcoin gets to 36 million, there's no national debt.
Okay. In that fantasy, who do you sell the Bitcoin to pay off the debt, though? I've heard that before.
Michael Saylor. Hello.
So Michael Saylor buys the Bitcoin from us and we use the proceeds to extinguish our debt.
Well, it's not, you don't need to sell it because it's almost the same thing as like if NVIDIA is 3 trillion, it's not like someone would say, oh, well, you're going to liquidate all 3 trillion, so it's not worth 3 trillion. It's as long as the value is stored at that level. So let's say Bitcoin,
speculation around
let's say that it becomes 10% of people's net worth and banks start to use it to secure information. Because remember, the blockchain, you can just store 1 pixel of a 10 million page document, but the hash will detect if you changed 1 pixel. So that's why you're going to use the Bitcoin to secure information, right?
On March 3rd, 2025, Lee made a bold prediction about the future price of Bitcoin on CNBC's Squawk Box. He believes that Bitcoin will surpass $150,000 by the end of 2025. He attributes this optimism to the growing interest from institutional investors who now trade Bitcoin regularly, including Citadel, among others. He believes that this new interest would push the price of Bitcoin upwards. Bitcoin has performed poorly over the past month. It lost 24% of its value, falling from about $102,000 to $78,000. Lee said that this is normal in any market cycle. He added that Bitcoin is recovering after a brief dip. Bitcoin makes all of its gains within 10 days. Lee also talked about how world events influence the price of Bitcoin. For example, President Donald Trump's recent decision to move forward with the strategic cryptocurrency reserve in the United States helped push the price of Bitcoin back above 90,000. While the cryptocurrency market is facing some challenges, including new tariffs and the shift to a safer asset like gold, he remains confident that Bitcoin will recover more strongly. Other industry experts have also predicted similar prospects. Bitwise and Standard Chartered have predicted that the price of Bitcoin will reach $200,000 by the end of the year. However, Lee cautioned against timing the market and that it is difficult to predict exactly when Bitcoin will recover. Bitcoin, the world's largest cryptocurrency, has been on a surge, especially after Donald Trump won the presidential election in early November. However, lately, as the market has seen a sell-off, Bitcoin and many other tokens in the sector have also lost their gains. But that hasn't stopped Lee from taking an optimistic stance. He believes that Bitcoin can rise by at least 66% before the end of the year. Bitcoin has sold off massively and shown extreme volatility in recent weeks due to weakening consumer sentiment and Trump's trade war. But Lee and his independent financial research firm, Fundstrat, actually started the year with a short-term bearish outlook on Bitcoin after such a strong rally. Overall, Lee likes Bitcoin because he believes that the token can protect itself from inflation due to its limited supply. However, Lee still sees Bitcoin as a risk asset and therefore believes that it will struggle in the near term as the market is affected by news about tariffs and the increasing likelihood of a full-blown trade war. Lee doesn't expect the pullbacks to last long and thinks Bitcoin is a good asset to hold for the long term. Lee said he expects Bitcoin to hit over $150,000 this year, implying an increase of at least 66% from the current levels over the next 10 months. He believes that growing acceptance of Bitcoin, especially by large institutions, will play a major role. Lee notably raised the possibility that hedge fund giant and market maker Citadel could eventually commercialize the token. Interestingly, earlier this year, Lee said he had a $250,000 price target for Bitcoin in 2025 based on market conditions at the time. Lee also claims that Bitcoin could end up becoming the most profitable commodity for Wall Street giants if the U.S. continues its move to make Bitcoin a reserve asset. Lee compares Bitcoin's strategic reserve to the concept of the U.S. oil reserve, noting that for every dollar used to buy oil, over $400 is used to speculate on the markets. With so much oil speculation, Lee says that countries need oil reserves to control supply and not get caught up in volatility. He claims that if oil speculation is worth 400 times its market value, Bitcoin as a global reserve asset adopted by the masses would likely be much more heavily traded and could be the most profitable commodity for Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan Chase. And if oil trades 400 times, Bitcoin could trade 1,000 times. It would be an extremely tradable commodity.